There is something extremely disturbing going on YouTube right now, and considering their push for family-friendly content, for advertiser-friendly content, I don't imagine this is going to be up for much longer, but I still think we should talk about it. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Izzy. Right off the bat, I just want to say I'm going to Rio de Janeiro tomorrow for a gaming convention. My friends and I, we have a gaming podcast in Portuguese, so unfortunately you won't be able to listen to it, but we have a podcast and we put out a video game, and we're going to meet up at this convention to sign autographs and do a meet and greet with fans and things like that. It's gonna be great, but this channel will likely not be updated for about a week, so just to give you a heads up. But to get to the subject of this video, as you probably are aware because a lot of big YouTubers have covered this story by now, I want to talk about the DaddyoFive situation. I guess that's the best way to describe it. DaddyoFive is a channel on YouTube. It's relatively popular. It has, let's see here, 760,000 subscribers. That's twice what I have on my Brazilian channel, which is bigger than this one. So they're relatively popular. And from what I could tell, their channel consists of family pranks. Except, and I use air quotes, because they don't seem to have a pretty good grasp on either pranking or parenting. Some of their videos have been taken down, so I won't be able to link them or show you here, especially because I've been flagged with copyright strikes in the past for showing videos of people that I'm criticizing. I'm not sure how some of the bigger YouTubers get away with it, but anyway, whatever I can find, I'm going to include in the description. But there are videos where the father, Mike Martin, I believe is his name, he pushes one of his sons into a face first into a bookshelf. He punches his arm is down on a table, and he gets upset at the kid for whatever reason, and he punches the kid's arm. One of the videos that I found more upsetting, and I didn't see other YouTubers touch on this one, is a video where they're doing that stupid bottle flip challenge. And the girl, I guess he has a daughter, and the girl misses it, and then one of the kids gets to slap her in the face, and he clearly does not want to do that. So the father keeps egging him on to slap the girl, and just slap the girl. Just, it's part of the game, it's part of the rules. Just slap the girl. The kid slaps his sister across the face, and he's a child, so he doesn't really. He's a child, right? So the father eggs him on to hurt his own sister. The kid then slaps the sister, but it was a little bit harder than they were anticipating. So the sister crumbles down on the floor, crying, bawling her eyes out. The father never misses a beat. He keeps it rolling, and he starts chastising the kid that he egged on to hit his sister for hitting his sister. And then the other brother, gets upset at him and tosses something at him. I couldn't see what it was, and the video has now since been taken down. But he throws some kind of like some heavy toy at his brother who slapped the sister, and it leaves a giant welt. The father then zooms in on the welt and starts, oh my god, look what happened. This video, I think, troubled me more than the other videos I saw from coming out of this channel. And anybody who knows me knows I would never say this lightly. In fact, I usually just scoff at people who just say this word all the time. But this was an instance that I can legitimately say that I was triggered. That bothered me at a visceral level, that the father was emotionally manipulating the child to slap his sister. And then he does it, and I guess he overdid it a little bit. The sister starts crying on the floor. The dad doesn't even give a fuck that his daughter's crying on the floor, hurt by not only the physical act of being slapped, but by the fact that this happened at the behest of her fucking father, her own father. This is happening. You got hurt because your father created a situation in which you ended up hurt on the floor crying. He didn't care. He didn't try to comfort the daughter in any way. He just keeps rolling and starts giving the kid trouble. The kid that he told to slap the child, it blows me away. And I had physical anxiety from watching that shit, from knowing that from fearing that I'm gonna be seeing these clips in like 30 years when these kids turn out to be serial killers and they're like looking into the story, what happened to these kids. It blows me away. That one troubled me the most out of everything that I saw. That one, the circumstance that, like, I put myself in that position. Imagine your father, the ultimate figure of authority in your life, telling you go and hurt your sister, and the kid does it. The sister starts crying. The kid doesn't understand what's happening because now the father's chastising him. Then your own brother then hurts you because you did what your father told. So what the fuck? Because of the backlash that this channel has gotten in the last 24 hours, they put out a video called Blocking All the Haters. And in this video, they make it abundantly clear, if it wasn't already, that they lack the intellectual capacity to even understand the damage they're causing. They are legitimately confused as to why people are upset at these videos. As an aside, it doesn't help at all that these two motherfuckers, the father and the mother, look straight out of Idiocracy. They look like trailer trash through and through. If you told me everything about this story, and I just hit my fucking screen here with my microphone. If you told me this whole story, but didn't tell me who the people are, the adults in the situation, those two are exactly what I would have pictured. They are absolute human garbage, and they look and sound like that. They're barely literate in their tweets, trying to because they're blaming everybody for this except for themselves. They're saying that people criticizing them and concerned for the well-being of these kids are just haters who are out to destroy their family. It's mind-boggling. It'd be more surprising that they are this stupid if they already didn't make that pretty clear. Because think about that. They're making these videos thinking they're good enough for the world to see, and uploading them and not understanding why people are upset. So we're obviously not dealing with the sharpest knives in the drawer here. Anyway, their video, blocking out the haters. One of the little tidbits from this video is that they admit that they've been investigated by the CPS and the Child Protective Services, and they didn't find anything, apparently. This only makes it even more clear that these people are absolute idiots. Imagine, they live in a world where it's not embarrassing for you to admit to everybody that you have been investigated by Child Protective Services for possibly beating up your kids on camera for money and humiliating them and damaging them psychologically, perhaps for life. And they're not embarrassed by this. Again, we go back to the whole trailer trash thing. In these low-income, low-education communities, it's very common to treat your kids like this. That's why these communities have a problem with violence, have a problem with alcoholism, with drug abuse. That's why, because they come from that kind of household, and that's all they know. All their friends go through the same thing, and they just emulate that with their kids when they're old enough. This is a vicious cycle, and we're watching it unfold. All of these things that we read about, because we all know that this is the kind of thing that happens in these low-income, low-education communities, but we're seeing this. It's morbidly fascinating in a way, because we're seeing it. There could seriously be case studies on this, on what this family is doing. But yeah, they're admitting to the world that they've been investigated by CPS. And they seem almost proud of it, that CPS didn't find anything. What a low bar to set for your parenting, that you've been investigated by Child Protective Services, but everything was good. And they're touting this like they are worthy of applause for it. How fucked is that? And then people are saying, here's the other thing, so many people are defending these two idiots, both on Twitter and on the comments for their videos and things like that, which at first surprised me. But when you think about it, if you're the kind of trash that was attracted to this content to begin with, to the point that you're a fan of these people, if you laugh at these things, at these little kids crying on the floor, not understanding why their own father told them to hurt their sister, for instance, in that video. If you're the demographic for that, it really shouldn't come as a surprise that they would defend this kind of behavior. It really shouldn't. So these people, the people who are defending these two, the parents, they're saying, well, but the kids in the video, they say they don't mind because, you know, this lifestyle is very popular. They're getting paid for this, and it's enabling them all of these nice things and trips and toys and video games and whatever. And again, it goes to show how stupid their fan base has to be. Think about this. It's very common for people who are stuck in abusive relationships to defend their abuser. It's very common. Sometimes there's call it Stockholm syndrome, call it, sometimes people don't have a different choice, so they just internalize that and they think that's normal. But for whatever reason, it's very common for victims of abuse to defend their abusers, let alone in a situation where they stand to gain something to allow the abuse to continue. These kids, that's gotta really fuck somebody's mind. That you're being abused on one hand, but then you know that the spoils of this abuse, the rewards for this is like an Xbox or a trip to Disney or whatever. That is really fucked up. I cannot imagine what that does to someone's mind, that your own parents are doing this. In the video where they're talking about going to Disney, this one is also very troubling. The father says that they're all going, except for Cody, who looks very sad in these videos. And they eventually go into why this kid is not going to Disney with the rest of the family, and apparently it's because he's smeared feces everywhere. They don't elaborate where it was. I'm imagining maybe his bedroom or the bathroom. It doesn't matter where. This kid, the kid that appears to be the most picked on by the family in these videos, smeared human shit on the walls, presumably. And the father is at loss as to what could be causing this. And you don't have to be a genius to understand that that could be a telltale sign of abuse, of mental instability caused by abuse, by physical, by psychological abuse. The kid is acting out and smearing feces everywhere. And the father's just like, oh, I don't know, why is he doing this? I wish I knew. He literally says something along those lines. I wish I knew why he's doing that. They're so fucking stupid. Did I say that already? They look like they came out of fucking Idiocracy, the movie. They look straight out of fucking Idiocracy. This is extremely disturbing. And the only silver lining to this is that it's getting a lot of people talking about domestic abuse, about child abuse, about parents who just, for whatever reason, for lack of opportunity, for poor parental figures of their own when they're growing up, they just don't understand how to raise kids. And this time we actually get to watch it happening. And again, I know I'm repeating myself, but this speaks volumes to how dumb these motherfuckers are, that they're filming this, that they're sitting there and editing this. They're watching this from end to end. They finish editing this. They still think, yeah, this is perfectly okay to let the world see what we're doing here. And then they upload it. And then when people get upset, when this finally escapes their little bubble with their little fanboys, when this finally escapes to normal people, and these people are saying, this is fucking outrageous that you're doing this, and they don't understand. I don't know what, that's what's most fucked about this. What is the best possible solution here? Because taking these kids away from their parents, while I believe would be for the best, because they're clearly abusive, that's shitty for the kids regardless. Even the foster home system is there's a lot of flaws with that. I know the kids, probably because they don't realize how abusive, how toxic this environment is, they wouldn't want to be separated from their parents. So there's no best case scenario here. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's deeply troubling. It's really fucked. And I don't understand how YouTube could have allowed this to happen for as long as it has. I think I'm all for giving people second choices. I think I'm all for giving people second chances. People sometimes are doing something stupid that's brought to their attention and they adjust their behavior. But that piece of fucking trash, that father, he seems beyond reason. He seems beyond reaching through reason. I honestly think that. In the videos where he's talking about the backlash, he seems legitimately confused. That means to me that he's just, it's like trying to teach algebra to a dog. It's just completely beyond his mental capacity. He does not understand what he's doing wrong. So I don't know, I don't think that could be fixed. I honestly don't think he has the intellectual capacity to fix the situation. So unfortunately, while taking the kids away from the parents, it's a traumatic experience. I think ultimately it would be for the best for these kids, because they're not, like I said in the beginning, when I watch these videos, I feel like one day, 20 years from now, we're gonna forget about all this, and then there's gonna be like a serial killer on the loose or some shit. They're gonna finally arrest the guy, and we find out it was one of those kids. I know it sounds grim as fuck, but I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm telling you everything I've ever read and ever heard about serial killers and people who develop extreme psychopathies. I think that's how it's pronounced. These people who are completely detached and devoid of regular human emotion and empathy. Everything I've ever read about these people, it was hard to imagine because I was just hearing about it, I was reading about it. It was hard to imagine that kind of toxic environment. I can now safely say I think I've seen what these people were going through. And what's even more disgusting, it's been done for laughs and for money. So I hope YouTube does something about this. I hope the state steps in and does something about this, because this is disgusting. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about today. I know this is a little more serious, a little bit more grounded than the videos I usually make here, but yeah, we're gonna be back for our regularly scheduled programming soon. I'll see you guys when I come back from Brazil.